Yes. Oh man. Hey, all right. So I got a very special treat today. I got a very, very, very special treat. I got Corey, aka the Red Sea. He joined the show last week. He wanted to talk about his Arizona Cardinals and the disrespect that's been going on with the Arizona Cardinals. And I think he's got a semi valid case for the reason why the Arizona Cardinals have been disrespected. I'm going to bring up here in just a second the over unders for the NFC West and how the Cardinals are by Vegas predicted to finish dead last in the division. But before I get going, let me introduce Corey the Red Sea. What's up, brother?
What is up, my man? What is up?
Man, so I got to ask you here, are you putting any action down on the Arizona Cardinals this year?
I'm not into the betting scene. You can testify this. I found your channel because I was scrolling through mock drafts after the 2018 season, telling people that our offensive line is too terrible for a midget quarterback, but we have a midget quarterback anyway. So, yep.
Yeah,
I remember it.
Yeah, me and you met because we were, I think, the only people that really thought that Kyler Murray would be a bad fit as the first overall pick for the Cardinals. And since then you've been a subscriber to my channel and you've made comments on the draft videos. So let me ask you though, how happy are you with Kyler Murray so far?
So far, it's a lot of what I thought it would be. It's like he's running for his life for most his rookie season. He did not know what to do with the football. He was holding on to the football, taking so many sacks. In his rookie season, he took 40 sacks, but 20 of them are credited to him.
Like that's a big number.
But how do you get more sacks credited to you than the entire offensive line? But I don't get that. But I mean, our offensive line has been a lot better, and Kyler is improving. As much as I hate to admit, but he is improving because I know how upset I was after that draft.
Yes, I do.
Pissed.
I don't blame you either. I thought it was a bad move. But so right now, all things being considered equal, how do you feel about Kyler Murray, though, as your quarterback going into the 2021 season? I mean, last year there was some talks about him being an MVP candidate. I thought that was silly. But this year you're hearing none of that talk. And I'm thinking that, look, you got some weapons here. You're going to be in some shootouts. It's a dark horse candidate. I mean, what do you think?
For a good part of that season, for a good part of last season, he was in the MVP conversation right up there with Russell Wilson, who he beat in his stadium. He beat Russell Wilson, albeit thanks to an interception, but I mean, Russ shouldn't have thrown a pass. He was up there in the MVP race with Russ and Rodgers and all of them. But then the Rams happened, and he got hurt.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't the same quarterback. And again, me and you kind of see eye to eye that they really could have upgraded their offensive line. And I think that you're going to have issues with Kyler Murray. I mean, now you're looking at 17-game season. You got a guy who is exceptionally fast and agile. But, I mean, I think injuries are always going to be an issue with Kyler Murray. I have a hard time believing that you can say comfortably that he's going to play in 17 games this season or any season.
I mean, it wasn't like he hasn't missed any time, except for a couple of snaps against the Rams last season when we forced him back because we needed to win that game, which we didn't anyway. But he hasn't missed any time. He's been banged up, but he hasn't missed time. That's the big thing. So it's like he sprained his MC joint in his throwing shoulder. And, like, that's not really recoverable, really. Like, it's not his fault it's not his fault, but it's his fault.
No, I agree, and I think that it's a combination of him, but I also think it's a combination of the offensive line. I know, what was it, Josh Jones last year in the third round? I thought a lot of mock drafts had him as a first-round pick. I thought that was
I had him as a first-round pick. I didn't think he was still on the board until we picked him. I was confused.
He definitely. I thought it was an excellent pick. Excellent pick.
I do too.
And before
I
I
really
got
think Josh Jones is just sitting there on the roster. I really think he's going to be good.
Oh yeah, I actually really liked the Cardinals draft last year. This year, I'm kind of up and down on it, and I do want to talk about that because I was very very high. I had a massive draft crush on Xavier Collins, and I do want to touch base on that. I'm going to read some of these comments, and then I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to have you break down what's the Vegas over under. I'm going to call it the Vegas over under, but I'm using the William Hill Sportsbook. I'm using the app in. Iowa, but these are the numbers from the William Hill Sportsbook. So depending on where you're located in the country, the numbers are going to be a little different.
Before we move on though, people have an issue with our offensive line. Our offensive line was not the issue. Mason Cole was our issue. He was by far the worst center in the NFL. How you get a pass blocking grade from 0 to 100 of 7 against the Giants? How do you manage 7 pass block grade? Scale of 0 to 100. How do you manage this? You were given a pressure on you were given pressures on the bench. How does this work? Man.
How do you feel about your offensive line this year?
We got a center. That's all we needed. We got a center.
All right.
We're good. Like, Jesus Christ. Mason Cole, you had to trade Mason Cole to the Minnesota Vikings for a 6th round pick. That was a steal and a half. Holy, you robbed the Minnesota. Give me that 6th round pick. Give me that. Jesus, Mason Cole. You have to have been a Cardinals fan and watched Mason Cole every snap to understand how bad he was. It was atrocious.
So not a lot of Mason Cole loving. But hey, man, this is why I want fans from every single fan base to go ahead and join the show, because I would have told you that the issue was with the offensive line. I did love the Josh Jones pickup, but I had no idea Mason Cole was that bad. So you have an upgrade in the offensive line, and you also added Watt. Then I'm going to share my screen, but I do want to get some of these comments here. And Funk has a excellent comment here. It's the offseason of the criminals in the NFL this week has been crazy, kind of highlighted by Richard Sherman, who
just recently,
I was bored when I saw this, man. Richard Sherman, one of the smartest people in the NFL. You can like or dislike him as a player, but oh wow, I was floored. It's 5 charges. And as a free agent, I almost think that this may kill any chance of him signing with an NFL team this year. What do you think, Red Sea?
Like, I thought it was fake. I thought it was fake. I saw the news, and I was just like, wow, I can't believe that. And then I went to Twitter, and the first thing that I saw was a meme of Richard Sherman was going to end up in Seattle one way or another.
I saw the same. Same thing.
He got arrested in Seattle. So, yeah. I mean, he's back in Seattle, locking up people in jail in Seattle.
I actually thought it would have been a good move for Seattle, but yeah, I was really floored by this, and
I was dumbfounded. I was confused.
I thought the same thing. I thought it was fake for a second. I was like, not Richard Sherman, but
like this is a false accusation. There's no way.
Yeah. And then we have some talk about Dan Campbell's daughter, but it's just a joke here.
You sure about that? You taking crack, man? You sure about that?
And then Funk, aren't you married? But hey, listen, Funk, we're gonna tell you something here. We don't snitch here in this community here, man. We'll help you out, but we'll help you out, brother. Nobody's gonna say anything over here. And then One Pride 40 jumping in. But Funk also responds here, yeah, but the women don't care where I get my appetite as long as I only eat at home. So this is awesome. And then Tadmit and Terry got indicted on a murder charge too. I actually, I'm drawing a blank on that one.
Tamori and Terry, he got convicted of a murder charge that happened while he was still at Florida State.
I do remember. I remember seeing that. I know the Richard Sherman case. I remember hearing about this, but yeah.
This man was in the NFL for a grand total of like 30 days, and he's already gone.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. I guess this has been a wild week in the NFL, man.
This offseason, man. Everyone's getting arrested.
It's a crazy thing, man. It's a crazy thing. And One Pride 40, even though we basically you don't have to cheat, but you also, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas or in any other city. So,
Sure.
It's all good. It's all good. And then, oh man, I got Luke G in the house, man. Luke, what is up, brother? Man. And yeah, I've never seen so many athletes get in this year alone. It has been a crazy off season. I know I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm like chomping at the bit. Just even for preseason football, it's just right there. It's just
I can't wait. It's so close.
Oh yeah,
so close.
I'm excited. You're excited. Denver Gator. All right. Let's go. I'm here to talk about synchronized swimming junior leagues. Who you guys got to win?
Isn't that the Chiefs fan? The Chiefs fan? He's totally a Chiefs fan, right?
Denver Gator is a huge Chiefs fan.
He's a diehard Chiefs fan.
Diehard Chiefs fan. He's excited about the Chiefs. Denver Gator.
He loves the Chiefs and LSU. That's what he loves.
He loves LSU. He loves the Chiefs. He's actually looking forward to the Chiefs going 20-0 this year. So
20-0.
20-0. And hold on here. I'm having problems hitting buttons here. All right. So I am going to go ahead, share my screen here. And guys, for the longest time, I have been saying take San Francisco under 10. You get this great number. Well, that has now gone away. That number is now 10.5. And my apologies. There you go. That number is now 10.5. And that number is now negative 125. So for you sports bettors, you have to wager $125 to win 100. But this is why I wanted to bring the Red Sea on, is that as you look here, the over-under win total is 10.5 for the Rams. It's increased this week to 10.5 for the San Francisco 49ers. It is 10 for Seattle. And in last place by a big number, I mean, there's a major difference here. 10.5, 10.5, 10, and 8. Red Sea, man. Why? Why is Arizona, by a big margin, supposed to finish dead last in the NFC West?
I'm going to give you a very simple answer. It's because we're the Arizona Cardinals.
All right.
And we're not the Seattle Seahawks. We're not the San Francisco 49ers. We're not the Los Angeles. We don't have that. We don't have that star power. We don't have the benefit of the doubt. Oh, they'll find a way to make the playoffs. Oh, they'll got this. They'll get 10 wins easy. We don't have that. We're the Arizona Cardinals. We're notorious for finishing in last place of the division every single year. It's our thing.
All right. I mean, you got what is it? You got Hopkins. You got J.J. Watt. You got Kyler Murray. I mean, these are some big names here, man.
This is what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. How do we add Rodney Hudson, the best center in the league? How do we add a top 20 defensive player in J.J. Watt? How do we draft Zaven Collins? How do we pretty much address corner? How do we get worse? How does that work? How do we finish worse? I need to know this information.
You know, that's a very good question. The only thing I would tell you is that you do lose 2 future Hall of Famers.
Patrick Peterson was washed.
And you also have Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, those are big names. Larry Fitzgerald. I would, if he doesn't retire as a Cardinal, I really don't want to see him play for another team. But
if he doesn't retire as Cardinal, there will be anarchy.
And I'm going to skip some of these comments because I think this is very interesting here. Red Sea, you cap, and the best center in the league right now is Ragnow. Ooh. Rodney Hudson, I don't know if he's the best center, but I will say this. I do think he's an upgrade.
Me at center would be an upgrade, my guy. Jesus, Mason Cole. Never bring that name to my attention ever again. God.
Oh, man. So lots of hate here. So let me ask you this here, because I got 2 10.5s and a 10. Now, I haven't done my video yet to break down the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to do that in a few weeks because I just completed the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday. So
I better be there for the stream after that. I better be there.
Hey, if you want to come on after I do it, it's in draft order. So if I remember right, it's 16th. So it'll be in a couple weeks. Monday, I'm going to break down the Detroit Lions. I know I got some Lions fans in here. We'll have to see what you think. I didn't plan on doing it this way, but I've been sticking with it for the first couple videos. I think I'm going to do it for all 32 is 3 likes, 3 dislikes, and then the Vegas over-under at the end. I wasn't planning on doing 3. It just kind of happened that way. But no, man, if you want to come on after I break down the Cardinals, Luke, if you're still here, if you want to come on after I do my Lions video, I'd love to hear what your opinion is. I do think there'll be some things you like about that video, and I know for a fact there's going to be some things you don't like. But there is – I have that released Monday. So let me ask you something, Red Sea. You don't have to hold – you don't have to – this is not a set in stone number because this is the middle of July. I mean, we got training camp. Start of the season, there's always injuries. What's a realistic over-under win total for the Arizona Cardinals this year?
Over-under win total. I'd probably go 10 wins because, I mean, let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. You can throw a dart, and that's who's going to win the division. This division is the best in football, and it's not even close.
Really?
You got the Rams. They got Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey on defense, so it doesn't matter who they got on offense. You got Seattle. They're never going to go away as long as they have Russ. San Francisco is going to find a way to be good. And Arizona's coming up. This division, I don't know who's going to win this division, but if all of these teams finish with 10 wins, I would not be surprised. We're not.
No, I'll tell you the truth. I actually think that this division has 3 playoff caliber teams, and then I think you got the San Francisco 49ers.
I think Seattle's in the basement. Seattle's going to be worse than a lot worse than people think they are.
No, actually, I'm the complete opposite. I actually have Seattle winning the division right now. I got them winning the division. I really think they've made some underrated moves in the offseason. They also had a lot of injuries, specifically at the running back position. And I'm a little worried about the new offensive coordinator. But if they can get everything ironed out, DK Metcalf takes another step up. There's a lot of things to like about Seattle. But who do you have winning the division?
I have in order. I have Rams, Cardinals, Niners, Seahawks.
All right. So let me ask you this here: over under.
So you said you have Seattle winning the division.
Yes, I think Seattle's the best team in the division.
Name someone on their team that could start for another team that is not named Bobby Wagner, Russell Wilson, Jamal Adams, Tyler Lockett, or DK Metcalf.
Oh, man, I do like Carlos Dunlap. I like Jamal Adams.
Jamal Adams off the list. Jamal Adams is off the list.
Jamal Adams is off the list. I like Carlos Dunlap. I'm drawing a blank on the left tackle's name. Solid player.
Wayne Brown.
Chris Carson. I also had a major man crush on Rashad Penny. You got some really good points, but bottom line, you do have all those players. You listed several players, several Hall of Fame caliber players.
But the problem is, who's blocking for Russell Wilson? He's already upset at
the left tackle's name.
Dwayne Brown.
Dwayne Brown. Yeah, and he's a solid left tackle.
He was there. He was there last season, and Russell Wilson was complaining in this offseason that he got hit too much.
Now I know they did add some players in free agency to improve the offensive line. They didn't go all in like the Kansas City Chiefs did on the offensive line, but their offensive line did get better. I also like that tight end that they got, and that second name freeze on my brain here, but the tight end from the Rams, which I think is a really, really underrated move because, I mean, physically speaking, there's not a more physically gifted wide receiver than DK Metcalf. Tyler Lockett, I think, is actually the better receiver.
Oh, he is. Tyler Lockett's better.
Yeah, and then you got a tight end threat. Then you also had I think they were down to like their fifth string running back. They called Marshawn Lynch out of retirement. They had, if I remember right, Carson got hurt, Penny got hurt. DJ Dallas, I think he was a fourth round rookie. He got hurt. There was another guy that got hurt. And then they got Marshawn Lynch. So you got 5 running backs that you went through. I mean, 1 or 2 running backs, having an injury, but season-ending injuries for 4 running backs is really unusual. You combine that with some players added during the offseason. Jamal Adams gets a full offseason. There's some things to like. Now, they did lose drawing the blank here on his name, the corner who ended up in Jacksonville.
Shaquille Griffin.
Yeah, Shaquille Griffin. They 3 name freezes already here. You know what? I'm going to crack
Another thing with Seattle, they don't have that great of a pass rush, even with Carlos Dunlap.
No, the pass rush, the defense is lacking. I mean, there's no.
And they don't even have corners to back up to cover the lack of pass rush. They don't have anything.
No, their number 1 pass rusher was actually Jamal Adams. He ended up, if I remember, like 10.5 sacks.
Let's boy.
Which is very comical, but Seattle, to me, I have them currently as my number 1 team. I have the Rams number 2. The Rams have less depth than Seattle. The same argument that you threw at me with Seattle, I would throw at you with the Rams. Aaron Donald goes down. I don't think they finish above 500. Jalen Ramsey goes down. I don't think they finish above 500. Stafford goes down. I don't think they finish above 500. And
that's unrecoverable. That's a quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, and that those are just, all those guys have got to stay healthy. There's not a lot of depth in there. You're also counting on Andrew Whitworth, who's going to be 40 in December. So I kind of like Arizona and the Rams. The Rams have any injuries at all, they'll finish below. I'm a little higher on Arizona than Vegas is. I actually think that they are. I'm going to go ahead and put the comment down. 8 is a fantastic number right here. If you're going to bet the over, I feel pretty solid about the Arizona Cardinals getting over 8. But as you see here, when this went to negative 150, it increased. I think we're going to see the same thing. This number is going to go to 8.5, and I think there's a lot of places that already have 8.5. But you think 10's a realistic win number?
10 or 9. Because like this team is improving. This team has nuclear firepower on offense. They have a ridiculously good pass rush, and they're getting the corners to even back up when the pass rush don't get there. Our team's dangerous, but no one knows because we're playing Arizona.
I kind of like that. I like the underdog. I like the underdog mentality. Now, I do want to ask this because I think they did the same thing last year mistakenly. They drafted Xavier Collins, a player I had a major draft crush on. I thought his best fit in the Arizona Cardinals defense would be as a middle linebacker, planning on using him on the outside. Is this going to work? And are they doing the same thing again? Because they messed up with Isaiah Simmons, not using him the right way. They're going to try to use him as inside linebacker, which they should have done from day one. Are they making the same mistake again with Xavier Collins?
Well, they didn't make a mistake. They didn't make a mistake with Isaiah Simmons. The world made a mistake because COVID happened.
Okay.
Isaiah Simmons did not have a full offseason. And in the short offseason that he had, he was learning how to play, I think it was 4 or 5 different positions on the defense. He was trying to learn inside linebacker, outside linebacker, both safety positions, and I believe slot corner. Like that's a lot for a rookie to take in. That's a lot.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. But instead of trying him to be a utility type player this season, they're just going to move him to inside linebacker. Now he's using him like a Swiss Army knife this year, or is he just settled in on that inside linebacker position?
He'll probably play. He'll probably split snaps at both. He'll probably play free safety and inside linebacker. Xavier is going to be the Mike linebacker. We're probably going to trade Jordan Hicks, which is going to make me cry, but it's probably going to happen. So Isaiah Simmons is the next inside backer, and he's probably going to split safeties when we go, if we go like 5-1-5.
That actually makes a lot of sense. My boy Funk was saying something very similar. He didn't really think that Simmons was really a pure linebacker.
So technically he's going to be listed as an inside linebacker, but he's not going to be in the B gaps all the time. It's not him. No. Like, he's going to play, he's going to roam. He's going to be the coverage guy. He's going to go cover your best tight end. He's going to go cover your slot receiver on some plays. He's going to cover your running back. Is he going to lead the league in tackles? Probably not.
You know what? That was what I was really wanting to see from him last year, and it really disappointed me. There were some times when he even, I don't know if he was a healthy scratch, but he was benched for a couple games. I don't know if he completely benched, but I do know he wasn't a starter. And when you're the 8th overall pick, that's got to be disappointing. Now, is Collins going to be a day one starter?
Yes.
Okay. And
literally the day of the draft, Steve Keim texted Vance Joseph, our defensive coordinator, day one starter. You have no choice. Day one starter. And he's going to be starting. He's probably going to be next to Isaiah Simmons if we trade Jordan Hicks. And then our safeties are some pretty good safeties.
And who is going to replace Patrick Peterson?
We have Malcolm Butler is going to be the quote-unquote replacement to Patrick Peterson.
Okay. That's not a bad player. Not
bad. Not the best, but not bad. Honestly, though, Patrick Peterson last season was not the best corner either.
No. He's taken a step back, but I think we can both agree at his prime, an elite corner.
At his prime, he was one of the best corners to ever live. At his prime,
I think so. I mean, here's a guy almost world class speed. I don't know if he had quite world class speed. 4.3 speed at 220. I mean, this was a big dude.
He was
exceptionally fast.
He was about the only corner in his prime to go one-on-one to Megatron and win most of those matches.
He was a really good player. Now, before we move forward, I'm going to get to some of these comments here. James, welcome, brother, man. Funk's talking about Matthew Stafford here, and anyway, he's saying he should have had more Pro Bowls because he had a 5,000-yard season. But now he's in LA. He's in a major market. No disrespect to the city of Detroit.
He has a better team.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be very interesting to see what he does there. Definitely a great off-field or off-season issue. So Red Sea, we want to know, do you have a Mason Cole jersey in your man cave?
No, because I don't have a man cave yet. I actually only own 3 jerseys. It's a Patrick Peterson, 2 Patrick Peterson away jerseys, and a Larry Fitzgerald alt jersey, which is the black one.
And then Denver Gators talking about synchronized swimming because he's crazy that way. Monday, I'm breaking out the Detroit Lions video. Luke G is still here. 49ers overrated, Hawks okay, Rams okay. Cards are meh. So that's interesting. Luke G kind of firing at you. I agree with C being the best division in the league. It's a good one, man. It is a really good one. Luke saying your division is overrated.
Well, get out of here.
Cards, 49ers, and maybe Rams. Man, Red Sea, what do you think about my boy Luke G? Lions over Cards this year?
It should not happen, but it's probably going to happen because we always find a way to lose to the Lions. We find a way to lose to the Lions.
All right.
But on paper, last season we lost Chandler Jones in week 5. Mm-hmm. But he was getting double teamed so much it wasn't even an issue. It was he was getting double teamed so much it was ridiculous. We lost Chandler Jones in week 5. From then, we still managed 48 sacks for a team, which finished 4th in the league, tied with the Super Bowl champion Buccaneers. And we saw what that pass rush did to Patrick Mahomes.
Yes. Poor
I'm sorry. It's still probably some PTSD, but I had to say it. I'm sorry.
No. Hey, listen, I'm not really over it, but I will say this, that as a very long time Chiefs fan, the last 3 years of being a Chiefs fan have been the best 3 sports years of my life. I got 3 AFC championships, where before I had none. I got 2 Super Bowls, and I got to win one. We have the best player in the National Football League. So I'm being a Chiefs fan is really awesome right now. It's
What's
actually
it like winning? I don't know what that is.
What
is this word?
And it's also funny too, because I always chuckle when sports fans say their team's disrespected. You would be surprised. A lot of Chiefs fans feel like they're disrespected, but
How?
I don't get it either. The Chiefs are the favorite by William Hill Sportsbook to win the Super Bowl. I personally have Tampa Bay. Just
if Kansas City has an offensive line, they'll murder Tampa Bay.
I want to say that, and I'd love to say that, but I do.
Well, it happened. You don't even have to think about it. It happened in the regular season when Patrick Mahomes had his offensive line. He had his way with that Tampa Bay defense.
He did.
He threw. Tyreek Hill had 200 yards receiving in the first half.
Yes.
Like, if Patrick Mahomes had an offensive line and his receivers actually knew how to catch.
Here
it's
you
not
go.
even a thing.
Are you hearing this? This is not a Chiefs fan. This isn't me being a Chiefs season ticket holder for 30 years. This isn't me being a diehard Chiefs fan saying this. This is a guy who's a Cardinals fan telling you, with an offensive line, the Chiefs murdered the Bucs in the Super Bowl and are on their way to trying to be a three-peat. This is a dynasty in the making. So here you go, Red Sea saying it.
How can,
not me.
I hate that some people who hate Patrick Mahomes, They say that Patrick Mahomes wasn't cut out to play Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. This man is falling down, is completely horizontal with the ground. He throws a 40-yard pass in that position, hits the receiver in the hands, and he drops it.
Oh, you're killing Chiefs fans who are here.
I'm sorry, but I'm trying to let you know.
You're traumatizing Denver Gator here.
I know, Denver Gator. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Your Chiefs heart can't take this, my guy. I can feel you unsubscribing right now. I'm sorry.
Hey, listen, you're preaching to the Chiefs fans, and when I do my Chiefs video, which will be, I'm going in draft order. So I'm on Monday will be Detroit, which is picking 6. So I got a long way to get to Kansas City, but believe it or not, there are several things about the Chiefs I can pick apart. I'm not sure that they're going to be as good as they were last year
One thing I can easily think of is their pass rush, because Frank Clark just got arrested and he's not going nowhere.
I talked about this last week, and there's kind of some miscommunication with it. I think it's going to work out because
felony weapon charges, though.
Yeah. Now here's a drill.
I remember arguing with a buddy of mine on a Discord server. Like, felony weapon charges, like, that ain't no joke. This man had a submachine gun in his back seat of his car.
Now here's the drill. It is legal to own a firearm, even in the state of California.
But the firearm that he had was illegal.
It is still legal to own an Uzi or a submachine gun in the state of California, but how you purchased it, the way I understood it, was that he purchased the weapon legally, but he didn't have the paperwork. And so that's why it's a felony charge. Once he's able to produce what's called an FFL, which is a federal firearms license, everything's going to work out. The way I understand it,
if that works out, then I don't have a lot of problems with the Chiefs.
No.
The biggest that I have is their edge pass rush. As I see it right now, you just double Chris Jones, and I don't have anyone else that I fear.
Well, we signed Jared Reed as a defensive tackle. We got him on a 1-year deal, and I
don't fear him as a pass rusher until he
no. But I
don't fear him.
That you put him with Chris Jones, and then you have Frank Clark on the outside. We had a 5th round pick, and I this is like my 4th name blank. A pick out of
because you're on cocaine, man. You can't remember names.
You know what? I'm not on cocaine. I got my Red Bull. I just opened. So 49ers will be good after losing to Detroit. I actually want to, let me ask you this here. The 49ers traveled to Detroit for week 1. The 49ers are a 7.5 point favorite. I actually like Detroit in this game. Red Sea, what do you think?
Sorry, I have food. Um, Detroit's sneaky. They find ways to beat NFC West teams. They find ways. I wouldn't take that over. I would still probably take Detroit, maybe, depending on San Francisco's injuries. But I wouldn't take that many points. I wouldn't take the points.
I gotcha. Actually, you know what? I actually almost agree with One Pride 40. Simmons would be a good fit in Detroit, and Okuda would be a good fit for the Cards.
He better be talking about Justin Simmons and not Isaiah Simmons.
He's
keep
talking
your
about
hands off him.
Simmons.
You keep your hands off him.
Listen, how would you feel if instead of Isaiah Simmons you had Jeffrey Okuda?
Well, Jeffrey Okuda didn't play that well last season.
No, he did not. Neither did Isaiah Simmons.
But Isaiah Simmons was trying to learn a lot. Jeff Okuda just had to learn to play corner.
Yes, he does need to learn to play corner. I thought that was a big mistake by actually the front office by the Detroit Lions. Grumpy old gringo, welcome. I'm a little behind on the comments here. One Bright Corky says, Red Sea, you're not going to like this, but I think Kingsbury is fired next year. Now, hey, One Pride 40, I know I'm a little behind here, but let me ask you this here. When you say fired next year, are you talking after the 2021 season? I would like to. Okay, Peanut Tillman, Revis. I don't trust the head coach of the Cardinals, and I think that's a valid concern here. What is your opinion of Kingsbury? I mean, he does have a losing record since he's been in the NFL. He had a losing record at Texas Tech. He even had a quarterback we talked about in Patrick Mahomes and still couldn't have a winning record in college. Is he the guy that's going to lead you to the promised land? Okay,
so the big misconception here about him losing in college. He coached at Texas Tech. If you're a high school player going to college to play football, where are you going to play? Texas A&M, Texas, or Texas Tech, or just Texas? Are you going to play at Texas A&M, or Texas Tech? Where you want to play?
If you're not familiar, Lubbock is like West Texas. It's basically 1,000 miles away from civilization. If you're not familiar with Texas, West Texas is like 1,000 miles away from any city. So you have SMU, TCU, that's in Dallas. I mean, you even got Houston. I don't know. I'd rather play at Texas Tech than Houston, but you got University of Texas. A lot of people, by the way, in case you're not aware, Oklahoma, their whole roster is from Texas. A large part of Oklahoma State, same thing. But yeah, you're right. It was a very Texas Tech is one of the most difficult places to recruit in the country because even though it's in Texas, it's really a remote place.
Like, name somebody from Texas Tech that succeeded that's not named Baker Mayfield or Patrick Mahomes.
I think that's the list. Okay. What's it?
We're not going Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel succeeded at being a party guy. He succeeded at laying the mold for Dwayne Haskins.
What is the guy's name? Oh God, I just watched that the special too on the NFL Network regarding the guy, Wes Walker. Yeah. That's it. So Mike is Chiefs can't beat Bucks when it counts. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. But I'm glad you're here, though, brother. Even though
give Patrick Mahomes an offensive line and then see what happens.
Where do you guys think Xavier is going? Cardinals, Bears? That's actually a really good question. I tell you the truth. I think the Cardinals I think both these places would be really, really good spots for him. Red Sea, where do you think he's going?
Where do I think or where do I want?
Oh,
two very different things.
Where do you? I know where you want him. I think you want him in Arizona, but where do you think he's going?
I think he'll honestly probably work things out with Miami. If Miami pays him, then he's staying in Miami. If not, then he could probably go to either Arizona or Chicago.
You think I'm sorry, you said Minnesota or Chicago?
Arizona or Chicago.
Oh, Arizona. Okay. No, I agree with both those spots. I think Chicago is actually a perfect spot for him. I know Chicago.
Arizona is too. The defense that Chicago runs is a lot similar to mine.
It is. It's actually
blitz,
similar.
You blitz a lot and you play man coverage. That sounds like Arizona.
Well, I know that they're gonna. I'm going to do the video on Chicago, and I'll talk about this in a little more detail. The coordinator who's taken over the defense, he was Vic Fangio's right hand man. So when they went ahead and switched to Chuck Pagano's system, I think they took a real step backward. There's a really good chance that Chicago's defense may actually take a step forward, but they really need corners bad. And I'm also not sure that Khalil Mack and last year Robert Quinn, that was just a disaster. But there is still some really, really good talent in Chicago, but they do desperately need a corner. And I think that Matt Nagy, the head coach of Chicago, he's on a hotter seat than Kingsbury in Arizona.
Well, Kingsbury got to get his head out of his ass when he in the fourth quarter, because he's still calling the game like it's college, and that he needs 50 points a game to win. Because I saw a lot of instances where our defense made plays to win the games, and his play calling was atrocious in that situation. He was going for shots. He was taking like killer shots, trying to go just get a last touchdown and completely take out any doubt. He's not running the clock out like he should, especially when we're one of the top running offenses in the league. You just got to run the ball.
Well, let me ask you this here: for Kingsbury to be gone, what does the record of the Cardinals have to be? What's the magic number of how many? What's the record? Like, is it 6-11, 7-10, 8-9? What's the record that gets him fired?
Anything below what we just finished, which would be 8-1 technically, but anything below 8 wins and he's gone.
Okay, that is the hot seat. And this is actually a pretty good point here, because we were talking about Patrick Peterson. Yes, Revis. I think.
Okay, Prime Revis is arguably the best corner to ever live. That's not named Deion Sanders. Prime Revis is different. We leave Prime Revis alone.
And Mike is just trolling here. Come on, Mike. We know Mahomes is the best quarterback in football, but no, he. Yeah, that's actually very legitimate. You can make a case about Rodgers. A lot of Bills fans think Josh Allen's better.
Nope.
I don't see that at all, but
I mean, he is good. He is very good. He's not there yet.
Denver Gator says 50 years of Chiefs not winning anything, it's okay. When you guys hit that cap strap in a few years, it'll be another 50 years of whining about the good old days.
Denver Gator. You had this guy named Tim Tebow, and he somehow took it to the playoffs, but then you replaced him the year after with Peyton Manning. And since Peyton Manning, who have you had a quarterback?
It's been a disaster. It's been a disaster, and I will forever blame that on Andy Reid and John Dorsey bringing in Paxton Lynch twice to Arrowhead, and saying that this guy was going to be the draft pick of the Kansas City Chiefs and tricking Denver into trading up for him.
The names in my head, they can't be from Denver. They have to be from Cleveland, right? Paxton Lynch, Trevor Siemian.
Oh, wow.
Now Drew Lock. These have to be. They played for Cleveland, right? It could not have been Denver.
Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm a big fan of Drew Lock. We went to the same high school. Slightly.
I'm a fan of Drew Lock, but he's just too inconsistent for me to believe in him.
I think giving him a full off season and this complement of weapons, I think it's going to be really, really interesting.
He had a lot of those weapons he had last season, and he was not great.
Well, he gets Cortland Sutton back. And one thing Luke brought up, Luke G.
Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton,
is they didn't go to Noah Fant nearly enough. I thought that this Noah Fant could be a guy that could be the best tight end in football, maybe next year or even this year, and they just don't use him nearly enough. That was just kind of my opinion. And actually, my boy Luke G brings up an excellent point. And me and him talked about this because both of us thought Isaiah Simmons was going to be used as a Swiss Army knife hybrid player in Detroit. When they went with Okudah, I knew as soon as they drafted Okudah, that was the end of the Patricia era. Luke, you say Simmons was underutilized. Now, you said that the only reason he was underutilized is due to the pandemic. This year, he's going to be used like a Swiss Army knife. but he's going to be called a quote unquote middle linebacker.
He's going to play inside linebacker, but he's probably going to split snaps at inside linebacker, outside linebacker occasionally, and safety. He's not going to play true, Ray Lewis, Patrick Willis. He's not going to do that. He's just going to roam around wherever the defense needs him. That's where he's going to be. Because we have Zaven Collins to be the middle linebacker, period. Our pass rush is phenomenal because those are outside linebackers for people who don't know how to accurately define outside linebackers and edge and 3-4. But he's not going to play true inside linebacker. He's going to play inside linebacker, but not technically, not like definition, not by the definition.
All right. I actually really agree with that. And I also thought that that's what they're going to try to do day one. And I thought that was the right move. I'm kind of hoping that they do something similar with Xavier Collins, because I actually see Xavier Collins as a guy that's better suited as an inside linebacker than an outside linebacker.
Well, he's gonna play inside. He's playing Mike linebacker.
Well, I like that because originally it looked like he was going to be an outside linebacker used as an edge rusher. And I'm like, what do you do?
I did like him coming out of college as an outside linebacker. But when we drafted him and then they said he's playing Mike linebacker, I kind of sat back and thought about it. Because where I wanted Zaven Collins to end up, I wanted him to go to the Ravens.
Okay. I thought
because you look at the Ravens mold for what they want, and especially a linebacker. And then fit that mold into one of that draft prospects, you're going to get Zaven Collins.
Well, last year they ended up drafting Patrick Queen, and I don't remember the guy's name out of Ohio State. And then this year they drafted that Taysom Hill, the guy who, as a defensive lineman, ran a 4.36. He's going to take over from Matthew Judon, and that's kind of going to be very interesting. And this is the debate I really wanted to get. I'm going to skip some of these comments here. I'm going to go to my boy Funk. In my opinion, Collins should be a jack outside linebacker. Man, Red Sea, respond, man, if you don't mind.
So people, in case you are not educated, I'm going to educate you. So clear the gunk out of your ears because I'm only going to say this once. Outside linebacker in a 3-4. That is called an edge rusher. They rush the passer a lot. Outside linebacker in a 3-4 is not the same as outside linebacker in a 4-3. No. Granted, he could do that, but consistently, 16th overall pick worthy-wise, I wouldn't put my money on it. I'm going to stick him at Mike linebacker, have him rush the quarterback eventually, be a spy a lot of the times, and play zone coverage. Don't man up against tight ends because you are way too slow.
All right. I don't really disagree with that. Let me ask you this here: with you got Collins as a starter, you got Isaiah Simmons, you are missing Patrick Peterson, who universally I think we can all agree took a step back. Realistically, how well do you think your defense is going to do this year?
Well, considering that our pass rush was top 5 in the league without Chandler Jones. Now we have Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt. It's going to be a little improved, just a little bit. We have, in my opinion, the best safety in the NFL. But those Cincinnati Bengals fans, they come right out of hiding to say, "Oh no, Jesse Bates is the best safety in the NFL."
A lot of Chiefs fans will tell you the Honey Badger is the best safety in the league.
I love Honey Badger. Honey Badger is a former Cardinal.
Oh yeah.
Currently, Honey Badger, I love you, buddy. You're top 10 still, but I wouldn't put you in the top 5 or top 3 category where Buda Baker, Justin Simmons, and Jesse Bates sit. I wouldn't put you up there.
I do have to admit, I am a big Buda Baker fan. I love the guy. I loved him coming out of college. I actually thought I didn't like him going to Arizona because you already had the Honey Badger. I was like,
well, he was going to be a replacement for Honey Badger because we couldn't pay Honey Badger.
And that's what ended up happening. And Chiefs fans are very, very happy. He's one of my favorite players. Absolutely love him. So,
watch out for Tay Gowan and Marco Wilson, the guys we drafted this year.
Oh, really?
If they had not opted out last season, they both probably would have gone day 2, and we got them both in day 3.
All right. I gave, and I still have this here. I gave your grade a C+. I liked some of the things that you did. Collins, even though he was a draft crush, I'm still not 100% sold on that. If it means anything, it's kind of like being the smartest kid on the short bus here. You did have my best draft grade in the NFC West.
Well, that's not much of an accomplishment because
No,
I don't know how
it really wasn't.
I don't know how the Rams managed to do this, but they somehow got worse with the draft. I don't know how they did it, but they did it.
No, they really did.
Seattle didn't have a draft.
No,
pretty much they had 3 picks, and San Francisco just picked names out of a hat. They picked Trey Lance, Aaron Banks, Asante. They just picked names out of a hat. That's what San Francisco's draft was.
And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to before we get back our conversation here, I'm going to give a shout out to some comments. Go Lions! What is up, man? Giving a shout out to Luke G, man. Go Lions! I haven't seen you here before, man, but we talk a lot of Lions here, so welcome. One Pride 40 has a great comment here. How much cap space does the Cardinals have? I don't have the answer. Red Sea, what is the answer?
I think it's somewhere around 12 million. I don't know accurately either because I don't just have the numbers in my head. But we have enough to say afford Xavier Howard being traded here.
Okay,
I'll say that.
So
I see you, Alex. That's you. I know this guy. I know Homeland. That's Alex. It's my boy.
Okay. I was going to say I don't recognize the Homeland. I thought it was your burner account. So the Homeland, welcome. And yes, Josh Allen has a lot of potential. Actually, I was going to make this up as a question here, but we had somebody already disagree. So I was going to say with Patrick Mahomes, universally the best quarterback in the NFL, with Rodgers being a question mark, Deshaun Watson being a question mark, who is the second best quarterback in the NFL? I wonder if Josh Allen fits that. He's not my number 2. Who would be your number 2?
Probably if we just say what if Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson don't play, I'd probably go with the next best with Russell Wilson.
That's actually my guy. I was actually really surprised that you agree with that.
I know people are thinking about it. Don't say Lamar Jackson. He plays running back. Don't say Lamar Jackson. Don't say it.
And this is my boy, Big Chief Sean. I actually was going to try to get him on to talk about the AFC West. Due to work schedules, we weren't able to get together. But, man, welcome, Big Chief Sean. He's got a really cool YouTube channel talking about the Arrowhead experience, the tailgating experience. It's very, very cool out at Arrowhead Stadium. So check his YouTube channel out. I don't have a description link, but it's Big Chief Sean on YouTube. So this is your buddy who's talking to Xavier Collins is not built for that family. Wow. And you
I don't know. I don't know what he's referring to. Because you're behind on comments as per usual.
I am behind on comments. This is his first Xavier Collins, so he's talking about Xavier Collins is not built for that family. The Homeland, here's how I'm interpreting that he's not built for the Arizona Cardinals. And then Red Sea, you already know who this is, but do you see Arizona going to the playoffs? All right, it's a great question here. Do you see Arizona going to the playoffs this year?
With how good the NFC is, maybe.
All right.
We're gonna make it as a 6 or 7 seed, no more. So I'm gonna go with the hard maybe because I have no idea.
Winning the division, you're definitely not winning the division, but you're going to the playoffs.
We can't beat the Rams. We have not beaten the Rams since they moved to Los Angeles.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Honey Badger isn't the best safety. I can list a few. Big Chief Sean, as a Chiefs fan, does disagree. ST, the end of the season, the Raiders have the 6th best safeties. That's all the Raiders do is draft safeties.
Yeah, but you're gonna draft some random 7th round undrafted talent guy in the 1st round and call him a good player. Am I wrong?
No. Hey, look, I gave the Raiders a D. I have no idea what they're doing. I think that they really needed to address the defensive line more than anything else. I mean,
their 2nd round pick was great. Trayvon Mayweather.
I thought it was
that was great. Alex Leatherwood in the 1st. I'm good.
No, I actually liked the first two picks. Then they went ahead and drafted a couple safeties, and they also brought back their former safety who was in Cleveland last year. This is like my ninth name freeze.
Carl Joseph. I know who that is. Carl Joseph.
Yes, they brought back Carl Joseph. Then they drafted a couple safeties, and I'm like, what are you doing here? The Homeland hot take: Trey Lance is in NFL ready. This is you. I'm glad you're joining now. I've been telling anybody who will listen, this is the number one bet. And now it's changed to 10.5. This is my number one bet, even though I hate this number. There's no way San Francisco's getting to 11 wins. No, he's not NFL ready. Ideally, Trey Lance sits for the whole season. And I've been saying,
in a perfect world, yes.
Yeah. And then
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like Trey Lance coming out. He played one season against mid-tier competition.
Well, I'll tell you what, I actually didn't have a problem with him coming out, and I liked him.
He had accuracy issues,
all the quarterbacks coming out. This is a guy that needs to sit, and I didn't think it was really a good fit for the San Francisco 49ers, considering how much you gave up for him, because you not only gave up this year's number one, you gave up next year's number one, and then the number one after that, and you gave it up to Miami, a team that's really on the rise with a ton of draft capital. If you had to say, give me a team that's going to build a good dynasty for the 20s, I'd say look at the Dolphins.
Miami.
They have all those picks, and this is a young team. Big Chief Sean's, please check your numbers, because we all know. I think Big Chief Sean, I can vouch for Big Chief Sean, really awesome guy, and he isn't wrong. I'm gonna tell you something. Honey Badger can play. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know who is the better safety, Buda Baker or the Honey Badger.
I'm just going to say this right. 3 straight seasons with 100 tackles, 2 All-Pros in the last 3 seasons, and another Pro Bowl on top of that.
Those are some pretty – I'm not disagreeing with those numbers. I'm saying they're good numbers.
Buda Baker played – you have to sit down for a second. Okay, I'm going to do – watch – I want you to sit down and watch 2 Cardinals games. I want you to first sit down and watch the Dallas Cowboys game of Monday night, which I'm watching right now, actually. I love the game so much. Sit down and watch the Dallas Cowboys game for Monday Night Football. And then I want you to go and I want you to watch our Week 4 game against the Carolina Panthers when we did not have Buda Baker. I want you to see the difference. I want you to go look at that difference.
You can take a look. I listen, I like Buda Baker. One thing I will tell you, though, is that I really, really like the Honey Badger as well. I don't think you can say one way or another one player is better than the other. The one thing I did want to say is the one thing that did really worry me about the Arizona Cardinals, and I should have done a little more research before I came on, but I don't know without going ahead and double checking myself. Who is going to be the starting running back?
I want Chase Edmonds. All
right. I mean,
James Conner would be nice.
He's not a bad player.
He hasn't proven it yet as a starting running back.
But
he has played very good. In Seattle, in the first Seattle game, he came up clutch. Second Seattle game, he came up clutch. Kenyon Drake, as a lot of people who know me, Alex especially, I hate Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake was awful. Kenyon Drake is probably the only player that I dislike more than Mason Cole on my team. I hated Kenyon Drake. It's literally Kenyon Drake's entire is one drive. Kenyon Drake, I can summarize it right now. 10-yard carry, next carry, fumble, recovered by Arizona. 3-yard carry, 2-yard carry, 10-yard carry, fumble. He fumbles so much, and his hands, oh my God, a defensive lineman has better hands than Kenyon Drake.
Oh my God,
Vince Wilfork got better hands than Kenyon Drake.
Oh my God.
God.
All right.
Watching Kenyon Drake be wide open, putting his hands out and catching nothing but air. Jesus Christ.
Not a fan of Kenyon Drake. BD Buster, I do not recognize you, man. Welcome, brother. He says, what's up, guys? This is a good one. Okay, not a hot take with Homeland. No, I agree. Funk is not a big Trey Lance supporter. Tim, my boy Tim, and I'm a little behind on the comments, but hey, Red Sea, the Suns going to win the NBA title.
Okay, I know this is going to come as a shock, but I don't watch basketball.
Okay.
My only 3 sports are football, bowling, and UFC. Those are the only sports that I watch.
By the way, it's Corey Red Sea. I should have put the link to your Instagram, but my Instagram, you can look up Corey. You can see his Instagram. That's how we've been communicating, and he does put a lot of his bowling stuff on there. I didn't know that Funk bowled either, so I thought that was pretty cool. I do like some of these comments here. Lamar Jackson is a running back, and you know it. It's not debatable. Big Chief Sean here. By the way, Big Chief Sean, in case you didn't know, Denver Gators, another big Chiefs fan. A huge Goen fan. We follow each other on Twitter. His recent workout vid is crazy. I hope Vance can use all that talent on defense. Kind of always rooted for the Cards since Tillman, but definitely a Kurt Warner fan. Oh yeah, Taylor Goldwyn, and then I follow Denver Gator on Twitter. That's all. It's kind of funny. It's how me and Denver Gator communicate. So yeah,
you Chiefs fans got to stick together. You Chiefs fans got to stick together.
We do stick together. We do stick together. Jackson is a QB, whether y'all like it or not. He has the worst arm in the league. Should be a running back, receiver. Matter of fact, when Lamar was coming out, 20 teams, give or take, asked him to play. This is actually a true statement. A lot of NFL teams wanted him to play wide receiver. And by the way, it's not an insult to Lamar Jackson to say that, hey, come play wide receiver. There's a lot of quarterbacks that are very athletic that ended up doing really well at other positions. I remember Scott Frost, who's now the head coach at Nebraska. He was a quarterback, a Heisman candidate. He ended up playing strong safety for the Jets for several years, was a pretty decent player. Lamar Jackson, I think he's 6'2", 6'3", 210 pounds. I have no idea what his 40 time is. Let's just say 4.4. That's an excellent time for a 40-yard dash. Not too long ago, Terrell Pryor, he was a guy built for a wide receiver position. He wanted to play quarterback. It didn't work. Moved to wide receiver, and everybody was right. Ended up having a few good years as a wide receiver. I think Lamar Jackson would be an excellent wide receiver. How he'll do as a quarterback this year is going to be very interesting. He's got some weapons. He's got some weapons. You got a Pro Bowl tight end. They added Sammy Watkins, their first-round pick, the kid out of Minnesota, guy I really liked.
Can I respond to Funk before we move on? Can I respond to Funk before we move on?
Oh yeah, please, yes.
So Alex, if you're still in the stream, I know you're gonna know what I'm gonna say. So Funk, the Ravens' offensive game plan. You run the ball up the middle with your running back. Your true okay, for the sake of argument, the true running back, J.K. Dobbins or Gus Edwards. You run the ball up the middle. QB option with Lamar Jackson. He takes it. He goes for 30 yards. QB option again with Lamar Jackson. Another 10 yards. Play action. The receiver's 15 yards wide open, and Lamar Jackson throws a wobbling pass. This man, he run the Ravens run around until the receivers can get like 5 yards of separation, and Lamar Jackson can throw a horrible pass up to him. How do you get the media banned from your off-season workouts for the team because you can't throw? How does that work? I don't know if you heard that or not, but the media coverage literally got banned from Ravens OTAs because Lamar Jackson's throwing.
Well, it was. I listened to the Behind the Sticks podcast. Daniel Jeremiah and what's his? I listen to it pretty frequently, but they've been public that one of the things about Lamar Jackson, despite having a strong arm, is that you have him throw outside hash marks. It's terrible.
It's ugly.
That's how teams are defending Lamar Jackson, is that they're saying, hey, go ahead and throw those out routes. You can't hit them. And that's been something that the NFL Network, and they're as unbiased as anybody, and they're pointing this out. That's extremely rare for a team to do that. I wasn't aware that the media has been banning practices, but that's something that NFL teams, I think all 31 teams know. Hey, look, you got to worry about them running the ball. You got to worry about the deep ball. You got a good tight end in Mark Andrews. I don't think he's in the caliber of Travis Kelce, but still pretty solid player. You get an opportunity to have those receivers run those out routes, because he can't hit those throws, and it's widely known.
What's crazy is him and Kyler are like the exact opposite. Not only, Kyler's short, Lamar tall, but Lamar, intermediate passes that are in front of him, he's okay with because he doesn't have to throw that far. Deep passes, 50-50. But if the receiver is 15 yards open, that's easy win. Kyler, short, still fast. That's what they have in common. Kyler's intermediate passing game, not the greatest, but his deep ball, that's one of the better ones. But him and Kyler are like completely opposite.
I have to admit, I didn't think he had the arm strength, even though
Kyler's got an arm.
Yes, he's got a big time arm. Both Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson, even though they're under 6 foot, have got big time arms, and it's something that I have to admit, coming out of college, I didn't know that Kyler Murray had that type of arm. But he is. The same throws that I just mentioned Lamar Jackson having problems with, Kyler Murray can make all those throws.
Yeah. And Kyler's arm strength is only really shown like a stat by everyone's favorite website or least favorite website, according to everybody else. PFF grades Kyler Murray as like one of the top 5 deep passers in the league. And that says a lot. He has a really good deep ball.
Now, I will say this.
It's just the middle of the field is so bad.
I do not validate anything from PFF.
I don't either, but watching the Cardinals games, I know that's actually accurate. Everything else PFF spits, complete garbage.
That I agree. And then also I will vouch for you. What I've seen, I was pleasantly surprised with the arm strength of Kyler Murray. I'm not. There's actually some questions here I want to kind of get on. The Homeland, this is kind of the debate we were having earlier. Big Chief Sean, it's the Honey Badger, Justin Simmons, Micah Hyde, Minka Fitzpatrick, Jesse Bates. All these guys are better than the Honey Badger per the Homeland. Now, I'm going to throw in my 2 cents, and yes, I'm a little biased, and so is Big Chief Sean.
Technically, you can count me as biased, too, because I'm a Cardinals fan. That's where Honey Badger came from.
Jump on in here. I would say Minka Fitzpatrick. I would put him over the Honey Badger. He's the only one on this list.
I would put Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates because they're in the top 3 in my eyes. Okay. It's them and Buddha for the top 3 in my eyes. Minka, I'd probably put 4th, and then Tyron's either 5th or 6th.
Okay.
And that says a lot because Tyron's a great player.
Oh, yeah.
It's not me saying this to hate on Tyron and say he's a bad player or that he should get cut. Tyron Matthew's a great player.
Hey, listen, I love Buddha Baker. I absolutely love his game. I would say Tyrann Mathieu, Buddha Baker, very close. I would say Tyrann Mathieu by a hair.
Well, they're the same player, pretty much.
They do the same thing.
Buddha Baker is going to become what Tyrann Mathieu is right now. Hopefully, he stays on our team instead of leaving because he wanted more money. But he's highest paid safety now. So. Well,
yes, he's the highest paid safety now, and there's been some talk that there's some issues because this is the last year of Tyrann Mathieu's contract, and there is a possibility he will not be in Kansas City after this year, which would hurt.
Well, I mean, if he's not going to be in Kansas City, I'll take him back. I'll take Tyrann Mathieu back.
We want him to stay, but that's part of the issues when you give your quarterback $500 million.
Well, I want Tyrann Mathieu back home, so this is our problem.
Well, that's something the Chiefs are going to work on because we have to figure out a way to give Orlando Brown a lot of money. We have to figure out
how you're going to pay Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce when you have Mahomes under contract for the next 25 years.
We re-signed Kelce, so Kelce's under contract for the next 4 years. Then Tyreek Hill signed a big time deal a couple of years. Maybe it was last year. So we actually got those 3 under contract, which is big. I was kind of hoping for another wide receiver, but that's kind of another thing here. And then Randall L. was a quarterback in college. That was a good one. Actually, if you didn't watch Randall L. play at the University of Indiana, he was really, really good. He was a phenomenal quarterback. Really, really good wide receiver. This is the question I kind of wanted to hit here. What do you guys think? Murray over under 4,500. Now, Tim, you didn't put this in there, but I've known Tim for a very long time. He's talking passing yards and passing yards only.
Okay, there we go. Because I was like, are we thinking passing and rushing? Because that's a little low if we're thinking of that.
Yeah. The total yards definitely would be over for total. But Tim's, even though he didn't say it, Tim's talking about just passing yards only.
Okay, just my sense, where Kyler Murray was headed before he got hurt, he was going to be the first quarterback to go 4,000, 1,000. Because Lamar went 3,000, 1,000. Because, Lamar is a running back, but we'll leave that discussion later. Kyler was on pace for 4,000, 1,000. And if you just have 4,000 passing alone, and you add in 1,000 rushing, that's 5,000 yards right there, not even counting the extra yards.
Let me ask
Kyler Murray, especially with the extra game, Kyler Murray can definitely hit over 4,000 yards.
Is 4,000, 1,000 a possibility this year with the extra game?
Definitely. It was a possibility. He was going to hit it last year. The pace he was going, he was going to hit it last year if he didn't get hurt.
So what do you think about 4,500? That's a tough number, and
with the extra game.
Yeah, you got the extra game. That's why it's a tough number, because last year there was a couple quarterbacks, only a handful of quarterbacks that got over 4,500, but you got the extra game. You got wide receiver talent there. Your running backs are kind of in question, so I think it's safe to say Arizona's going to be a passing team this year.
Even if we're not a passing team, we could still run the football with anybody. We have Kyler Murray, we have Chase Edmonds, we have James Conner. That alone could manage us as a total probably 1,500 yards at worst, at possible worst. That'll probably land us 15,000, anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 rushing yards as a team with those three right there. Not even counting the jet sweeps that Rondale Moore is going to get.
No, that's kind of one thing that's really kind of understated about the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, Alex, I know. It wasn't my best. Alex, I know.
Yeah, because it is a run and shoot offense, but the Arizona Cardinals actually have one of the best running offenses in the National Football League. Not a lot of people know that. And yes,
not a lot of people know we were the number one offense for like half the season.
Oh yeah. That's the very underrated thing, and
that's including the guy right above me. That's including his team's offense. The guy directly above my profile picture. That's including his offense. We were above him.
And Luke, I cannot tell you how much I agree with you, Luke. That's one thing that me and him have in common. PFF
I spat out the PFF stat. I didn't say I like PFF. Two very different things.
And now Funk that's got to throw this in. All these safeties can't hold a candle to Reed Dawkins and Palomar.
Polamalu got more Head and Shoulders commercials than Baker Mayfield got Progressive commercials.
I have to admit, I like those commercials.
Those commercials are pretty funny. Those commercials
they are pretty good, man. I like the one with Mahomes, but of course, I'm a Chiefs fan here.
The Baker Mayfield ones, those make me laugh.
Oh yeah, those are awesome. Those are really good.
Amazing.
Those are fantastic. And then Big Chief Sean, in the 2 years the Honey Badger is on our team, his stats are 10 interceptions, 1 for a TD, over 100 tackles, and he's only been to 1 Pro Bowl here because he was busy in 2019. Hey, look, Big Chief Sean. Hey, listen, I'm gonna stick up for it. See, he didn't say he's bad. Number 5 or 6. All he's saying is that his guy Buda Baker is better. The comments that we had earlier, if I scroll up here, I disagree with the Homeland, but these are all pretty good safeties.
These are the amount of safety talent in the NFL is ridiculous. The amount of safety talent in the NFL is completely ridiculous.
You're right. You're 100% right. And
even to mention that, to go into like to go forward in time, next year there's going to be a guy named Kyle Hamilton in the league. Have you watched his tape?
No, I have not.
Jesus Christ.
I haven't watched the tape, but there is some really good things to like about this kid from what I've seen. But this is a really good really good safety class that we got here. This is actually pretty damn funny.
I play Alex in franchise every day on Madden. He's just mad that Kyler keeps winning the MVPs. He's just mad.
Well,
He got Matt Jones with 6,000 passing yards, and he ain't win a damn MVP. He's just mad.
Well, it's kind of funny because I kept on hearing Kyler Murray MVP talk last year. I think this year might be the year that he could have some really good statistics because
if we got screen time, that'd be greght. You know, that's what helped Lamar Jackson in his MVP campaign. He was on primetime every other week.
I mean that does have a lot to do with it, but the only way Kyler goes over 5,000 passing yards, this was pretty.
It's just Matt. He's talking about Madden because that we have a Madden franchise. Me and him play Madden on Xbox.
Yeah, okay, all right. I no longer play Madden, but I do. I am always entertained by that.
Oh, trust me. Me and him ask ourselves why the hell we play that game either because it's so bad.
All right, unless you're a TB12, Mahomes, Donald, or the 49ers, PFF doesn't recognize your team. By the way, you guys hear from Kelsey. Everyone else pronounces their name wrong. It's supposed to sound like Kels.
No, it's really? Kelsey. It's Kelsey.
I always thought it was Kelsey, but I mean, I could be wrong. Now,
that's how they pronounced his brother's name. That's how they pronounce his name. That's how I'm going to pronounce it.
Is a big time Chiefs fan.
Yeah, he's a Chiefs fan, and he's a Chiefs fan and LSU fan. That's
he's
what
an
he
LSU fan. He's got an LSU T-shirt with a Mahomes jersey over it right now.
So. Yeah, he's wearing an LSU hat, and he has a Mahomes jersey on that's signed by Patrick Mahomes. Don't let his name fool you. He's not a Denver Broncos and Florida Gators fan. He's not. No, don't let that fool you. It's all a lie. All an expertly crafted lie.
And then my boy Luke G, if Kyler has 4,500 yards, the Cardinals are in trouble and probably losing because this team seems that this is exactly what I'm talking about, Luke, is that if he does have an MVP caliber season, it'll be like Russell Wilson the first half of the season. It's because the defense is underperforming. If he does have an MVP caliber season, he's going to put in big numbers, but but you're 100% right because the Cardinals' defense is not showing up. And because the running game is also not performing. When I say running game, Murray's going to get his running yards. All right. No matter how bad the running offense is, he's going to get his running yards. It's the running backs aren't contributing. So he's got to do way too much in the passing game. And it's also because the defense isn't living up to expectations. So yeah, if Kyler Murray does have over 4,500 passing yards, Luke G's 100% right. What do you think, Red Sea?
I could push back on this because Lamar Jackson in his MVP season, his defense was, the Ravens, just for a team, just in case you didn't know. You can definitely win an MVP with a good defense. It's not impossible. Tom Brady has done it his whole career.
No, I mean, now keep in mind when Mahomes won his MVP, our defense was garbage.
Okay, that's different. Your defense let him score quickly so Patrick Mahomes can get back out there and throw bombs to Tyreek Hill every other play. That's different. I'm saying Kyler Murray could have a good defense because we do have a good defense. Despite what people want to think, we have a good defense. Kyler Murray can get those stats because the defense can pressure your quarterback early and often. 48 sacks without Chandler Jones. Now you add him and J.J. Watt. We're going to put your quarterback on the ground a lot.
Well, I have to admit, 48. You have a pass rush. There's a lot of athleticism on that front seven. I do, even though you got Budda Baker, one of the best safeties in the league, one of my favorite players. I do worry about your secondary somewhat, and you're in a division with some pretty good quarterbacks.
Well, yeah. Depending where you rank. Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance, yeah.
Well, I'm when I say good quarterbacks, I'm talking about Stafford and Will.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
And then I think we're all in agreement here that PFF is just complete trash. You know what? I'm going to try not to get in a rant here of how much I despise PFF. But yeah, we all agree here. I know that. I don't use any of their numbers. I also know Luke G, who does a really good job with breaking down college tape and pro tape. He doesn't use any of PFF stuff either. Tyreek Hill actually called them kills. The Chiefs have a lot of fun. I follow a lot of them on social media. They're enjoying themselves, but believe me, they do have a chip on their shoulder. This is a great question, and I'm going to let Red Sea attack it first. You have $100 burning a hole in your pocket. You put it on the Cardinals to make the playoffs, win division, win NFC, or do you put them as a Super Bowl champ? And I'm also going to throw out something weird. There is this that I just found on PFF, or I'm sorry, not God, I got PFF on my mind.
What
the
is
William
that?
Hill Sportsbook has some boosted odds, and these are what I would refer to as sucker bets. These
What
are three
in the world is that bottom line?
Steelers to win the Super Bowl is plus 4,500. This means a $100 bet will win you $4,500. So you have these, but let me ask you this here, because we're going to refer back to the now. Oh, by the way, I let's do this here. Okay, Arizona to win the division is plus 575, so just slightly under 6-1. Tim, I don't have the number in front of me to make the playoffs. I believe off the top of my head it's plus 125. If I remember correctly here. Tell you what, give me 1 second here. I'll actually give you the exact number. But I believe it's 125. And then the win the division, of course, would be plus 575. NFC or Super Bowl champ, I have no idea. So let's say you got $100 that you're wanting to put action down on Red Sea. What are you putting action on and why?
Make playoffs, because it'd probably be the easiest.
All right.
This division, as I said, is the best in the NFL, and winning it is not easy. To win the NFC as a whole, we'd have to go through a lot of teams, not just our division. We'd have to go through.
I had no idea. I looked it up as you were talking to make the playoffs this year. And you know what, Tim? This might actually be a great bet. The number is plus 190. Almost 2-1 odds. I'm floored by that, but I'm also floored by this. I wouldn't say floored, but 8 I think is a little low. May not be 10, but you basically have 2-1 odds to make the playoffs. So putting $100 for the Cardinals to make the playoffs, yeah, I agree with Red Sea completely. I actually would have thought it was 125 or 130. So I am really, really off on that. Wow. 2-1 odds. Great question, Tim.
I mean, I'm not into the betting scene as much. I'm here because of a mock draft that I saw about Josh Rosen. That's all. That's why I'm here. But I'm happy to be here.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm glad you followed. And the reason why I bring up sports betting as much as I do is I claim to be an expert on the National Football League, and I do talk all 32 teams. But the point of building the channel so I can have fans like you're an Arizona Cardinals fan. The Homeland's
a Patriots fan.
You know what? I don't have any Patriots fans, so I'm glad to have them here. I got some Detroit Lions fan. I reached out to Luke G a couple of years ago because I thought that Vegas got the numbers wrong for the Detroit Lions. So I wanted to reach out to him. But I do make a profit every year betting on the National Football League. This was, however, my number one bet, and that number has gone away. It's changed to this. I hate this number, but I love this number. And I also offer betting advice to people. That way they can take money from these evil casinos. But I have to admit, my number one play has gone away. I still have my number one week 1 bet, which is.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, is your number one bet the week 1 game? Washington versus somebody?
Yeah, they play the Cardinals at it's the early game. And right now.
They don't play us. We don't play them.
I'm sorry. The Chargers. I said.
Yeah. That pass rush versus that offensive line. Yeah, Washington. I got Washington.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to put some money on that. I'll probably put some money on San Francisco, just not nearly as much because I hate the idea of wagering 125 to win 100. But I really, really do love this. And so, hey, you know what? The AFC East was actually the first show I did. But hey, listen, Homeland, follow me on. Okay, I just got the notification because I was playing on my phone. I'm going to hit you up on Instagram. We'll talk, and maybe we can bring you on. We'll talk a little bit of AFC.
I will send him your Instagram because I have a chat with him. I talk with him every day.
Yeah. I just saw he just sent me a request. So definitely, absolutely, and yes, this was the Steelers. By the way. I literally just found this.
I can't believe that. That has to be false, right?
This is on the William Hill website on the app that I have on my phone. I just found this today, so this just came up in the last couple of days. And again, when casino companies come out with promotions like this, these are prop bets. I'm telling you right now, they're sucker bets. These are terrible, terrible bets. Yes, the only one I would take. I think this is not a good bet. This is I think it's a terrible bet. This is semi-realistic. You almost get 4-1 odds for the Raiders to make the playoffs, and I can make a very strong case that the Raiders are the second best team. I actually believe that Denver is the second best team. I just have some questions about their coaching, but that's kind of a thing completely. But
I just have a question about Denver's quarterback. If Denver gets Deshaun Watson, Kansas City, you better count your days because Denver's roster is really good.
Well, I keep hearing rumors about Aaron Rodgers going to Denver, and if that's the case, then I would really, really worry because Denver has some really good skill position talent.
Okay, like if your options at quarterback between are Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson, you're asking a pretty good question.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey. I mean, you keep seeing those things. I personally think that Denver's going to stick with Drew Lock. I think they're more
honestly
entertainment.
What I've said, and Alex can testify to this, my guy in the homeland. If Denver had a quarterback, let's say prime Andy Dalton level, which was the most mediocre quarterback ever. If Denver has that quarterback, they're going to win a lot of games.
See, that's the way I'm looking at it.
And I think their quarterbacks are so bad.
A top 15 or a top 12 quarterback. I don't think Drew Lock has what it takes to be an elite level quarterback, but
not anymore. No, I used to, but not anymore.
Let's just say top 15. So you have a slightly above average quarterback play. You have a good defense. You added a bunch of corners. You drafted the best corner in the draft, and then you return a Hall of Famer and Von Miller to that defensive front seven.
You already have Bradley Chubb on there. You're getting Shelby Harris back. You added Javonte Williams to the running game with Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, there is a lot to like about the. There is a lot to like about the
Denver is legitimately a quarterback away. Like, say if the Tom Brady situation happened a year later, and Tom Brady picked Denver, Denver's going undefeated. It's not even close.
I don't know about undefeated, but
Okay. How about this? They would 15-2. How about that? How about you get your 2 wins? How about that?
Well, maybe I don't know. Close. I do think Denver with a quarterback like Deshaun Watson or Aaron Rodgers really scares Kansas City. As of right now, I'm looking.
That scares everybody. That don't just scare you. That scares everybody.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. As a Chiefs fan right now, I'm looking down on 3 teams and like wondering which one's going to steal a game this year. I'm not really afraid of anybody. The homeland brings up something very interesting. The Steelers are finishing 3rd or last in their division. This isn't an argument. This is a fact. I'll let you know something now.
I will agree with him. I will fight about this. I agree with him.
I will tell you this right now. I've been saying this the last couple of weeks. I think the Cleveland Browns may surprise people and take a big step back this year.
Oh, Cleveland's winning there. I got Cleveland, Baltimore, and Cincy and Pittsburgh are going to flip. It's going to be one of those 2.
I just did my video on the Cincinnati Bengals, but the one thing I haven't done Cleveland yet. Obviously, I'm doing the playoff teams later. But I've been telling people I think you have to watch out for Cleveland because on paper they look great. But any team that's
Cleveland's roster is just as good as Denver's.
Goes up, almost always comes back down. I have some really legitimate concerns about the Cleveland Browns. I think they're going to be a team that actually takes a step backwards this year, and a lot of people disagree with me. But I think the Cleveland Browns may surprise people and take a step backwards. I'm not sold on Baltimore. There's a lot of things I like, but they did lose a lot of players. I think they're kind of a question mark for them to win 11 games. I think it's pretty fair. Pittsburgh may end up being slightly better than people think. To say that they're going to be worse than the Cleveland Browns, I'm not so sure because I think Cleveland may surprise people and take a step back. I'm in the minority on this.
Pittsburgh started off 11-0.
Yes.
They started off 11-0 last year.
Yes.
Who did they beat?
I know they beat the Ravens.
Exactly.
Off the top of my head, I know they beat the Ravens.
They beat the Ravens and they beat the Browns once. Both games, both teams, or not both teams, both of those teams, meaning the Ravens and the Browns, both of those teams were injury racked completely. They beat the Ravens without Lamar Jackson, without their running back that plays quarterback.
So right now, if we're going to talk AFC, and let's just say we're going to talk about
they started off 11-0. They played a good, healthy team in Washington and got destroyed. And then they played Cincinnati, and TikTok boy came out and he got hit stick by Von Bell.
I had to admit that was pretty funny. I'm just telling you, you get Devin Bush who's coming back. Alonzo, I don't think his first name's Alonzo, but I know it's Alonzo Highsmith's son. He's going to replace Bud Dupree. I don't think that
Alex Highsmith. I think I don't remember.
Yeah, Alex Highsmith. You're right, Alex Highsmith. I don't think the loss of Bud Dupree is going to hurt at all. I think Devin Bush was looking fantastic back there. You still got like I said, I think Minka Fitzpatrick is the best safety in the National Football League. I don't
have a problem with their defense at all. I don't have a problem with their defense.
The offensive line does bother me a little bit, but
I got a problem with their offense.
I got a problem with the offensive line. I'm not 100% sold that Ben Roethlisberger's a elite caliber quarterback, but one thing I will say is Najee Harris could have a monster year.
Behind what?
The offensive line is a question.
What does a running back need if you're not Derrick Henry?
I understand. No, I 100% understand. If you've been following my channel, I've always preached offensive line, and I do have some questions with the offensive line in Pittsburgh. I mean, I can't debate that, but the one thing about the Steelers is that the Steelers have done a good job in the past of fortifying their offensive line units. It's not a stretch to say that they'll have everything ready to go by the start of the season.
Okay, so Pittsburgh played an injury-racked. So they played the Bengals. That's one win right there. They played injury-racked Browns and Ravens teams. And then they played the NFC East, or as many of us know, the NFC Least. They had an easy schedule. I don't have a problem with their defense.
I pulled it up while we were talking. They swept Baltimore. They beat Tennessee. I remember that Tennessee game because I put some action on Pittsburgh that week. Normally, I don't like betting on Steelers. I'm not a Steelers fan, so it's kind of weird that I'm being put in a position to defend the Steelers. But I to say that they're going to be an 8-9 team when Tomlin's never had a losing season and that the team does have talent, I think is kind of a stretch.
They have defensive talent.
I agree with that. I'm going to stand by this though. The Cleveland Browns, normally when you have a team that's a perennial loser and here's what you got: 1 win, 0 wins, 7 wins, 6 wins, 11 wins. Normally when you have a team that makes that type of jump after being a perennial loser, the next year they usually dip a little bit. I think that they're going to surprise people, and I think that they may end up being an 8-9 win team, even though on paper they're arguably as good as anybody.
They're going to be in my opinion anyway, they're going to be as good as anybody. They're going to be right up there with you guys, fighting for that number 2 seed, not fighting for that number 1 seed.
Well, I'm telling you right now, week 1 they come to Arrowhead, and that's a good game to bet on.
That's week 1?
Yeah. That game, in my opinion, Chiefs and Browns should have been that Thursday game, but I'm kind of homer.
Yeah, that should have been.
Yeah, the Browns.
I don't know about the Thursday game because everyone's really rusty. I'd maybe go middle of the season Thursday game or Sunday game. That'd be great.
Oh, that's going to be a great game. And I'm telling you right now, you want to put action on the over. And the reason why is that the last 3 season openers with Patrick Mahomes as quarterback for the Chiefs, 38 points, 42 points, and 34 points. Andy Reid is 7-1 as a season openers. And the one loss was one of the flukiest, weirdest games of all times. And then here's the thing with Cleveland, another thing, they're going to have up to 9 new starters on defense. And you're coming to Arrowhead with an Andy Reid coach team and a pissed off Kansas City Chiefs team. I think actually they're a 6-point favorite. I'm tempted to put action on, for the Chiefs to cover 6. It's just a big number against a talented team. But yeah, I do got them as a team that I think could really disappoint. They're one of my teams. I think that a lot of people are overhyping, and I think they're under deliver this year.
Well, okay, so they're having 9 new starters on defense. You said
they could have up to 9 without looking up all their things, but they brought in they had a lot of turnover and some good players too. I mean, Jadeveon Clowney, John Johnson, JOK at linebacker, Greedy Williams.
Greg Newsome in the draft, JOK in the draft in the 2nd round. That's crazy.
You also get back Greedy Williams, Grant Delpit, who was injured all of last year, a player I really liked.
You already have Denzel Ward, you have Myles Garrett. You're bringing in Jadeveon Clowney to play alongside Myles Garrett, or whatever that's worth.
But I will say this: Week 1, all those new pieces in place against Kansas City in Kansas City. I'm just, I don't know. I don't think we have any Browns fans. Oh, actually, my boy Tim here is a big Browns fan. Except for Tim, there's not any Browns fans here. So, and by the way, Tim is really on board with your Arizona pick, that 2-1 odds. I had no idea, Tim. So yeah, we got a good one.
To jump back to the Pittsburgh thing, Pittsburgh's defense is top 5. That's not even in question. But if you look on the offense, they have nothing at offensive line. They have a 50-year-old piece of glass at quarterback. And then they have this rookie running back who's supposed to run behind a bunch of trash cans against the AFC North. I don't like Juju. He hasn't proven anything since Antonio Brown left. I don't like Juju that much. I like the other guys, Chase Claypool and James Washington, but they can't carry an offense.
Well, with Claypool, I thought that was a major mistake in drafting him, and then he had that 4-touchdown game, and I'm like, oh my God. But I was at the time when they drafted him, I thought it was a massive mistake. But you got Tim on board with taking the Arizona Cardinal bets, and then the Homeland has a great question. You're at the 1-yard line.
Oh, I know this question. Me and him came up with this question.
Okay, who is going to try to stop him? Navarro Bowman, Ray Lewis, Patrick Willis, or Bill Roman? This is a great question. Oh man,
what he's not going to say is we had an exact similar question with safeties, and the safeties we had were Cam Chancellor, Sean Taylor, Ronnie Lott, Ed Reed, and I'm forgetting the last guy.
Was it Paul?
No, it was Brian Dawkins. That's who it was.
Okay. Man, that's actually a good one. This is a tough one. Okay, if you had to give me one guy I'm gonna let you know right now. And for me, when you talk about greatest of all time, it's length of time. All right, length of time has a part to doing it. So when you talk about the greatest linebackers of all time, I'll say Ray Lewis. He played for 20 years and he played at level.
He's just saying which linebacker are you going to take to stop Derrick Henry on the 1-yard line? That's all he's asking.
I understand. So when I talk about the greatest linebackers of all time, I think it's Ray Lewis. So it's kind of a combination here. I would throw out Bowman and Romanowski because both those guys are more outside linebacker types. Bowman, who I was a big fan of all the way back from Penn State. I used to be a huge Penn State fan before the scandal. I don't know if it's either Lewis or Willis because if you didn't watch Patrick Willis play, I mean, this guy wasn't
he like an all-pro in every single season?
Oh God, yes. He came in. I remember he was I thought he was overdrafted. He was, if I remember right, he's the 10th.
He was underdrafted. Boy.
Oh God, yes, a fantastic player. Willis was just such a beast. I tell you the truth, I might take Willis out of those 4. And the reason why is I know Ray Lewis in pass coverage was as good as anyone. I think Bowman and Romanowski are more outside linebackers, not really known for stuff in the run. I'd probably go with Patrick Willis as far as a run stuffer. But to tell you the truth, I think Derrick Henry scores.
Even with all of that, Derrick Henry's just like, I got this.
Yes. Luke, hey man, Luke, I am very, very glad you joined. By the way, Luke, you should, in case I haven't told you this, I'm pretty sure I have. You have a lifetime pass to jump in live anytime you want. I'm eternally grateful for letting me come on your show twice, and I got a lot of love from the Detroit Lions, and I'm also looking forward to hearing back from you when I do the Detroit Lions video, which I'll have released on Monday. So, and then Tim Wallace has a Bowman. I'm kind of surprised about that, to be honest with you, but Bowman, very, very good linebacker, very, very good linebacker. And I'll tell you what, we're going at it an hour 40. So I think we're going to just wrap it up here in the next minute or two. Man, Red Sea, dude, thank you so much for coming on, talking some Arizona Cardinals. I'm glad you're able to make it. And we got some really good knowledge here. And between now and the beginning of the season, hopefully I get some more knowledge from you because I have not placed a single bet yet. But before I do make any bets, I do want to confer with you. I'll probably hit you up on Instagram. And of course, if you want to come back on the show, man, you're more than welcome to any time, man.
Oh, you best believe if Arizona makes a Super Bowl and we play Kansas City, you best believe I'm going to be on your stream.
Oh, dude, hey, man, I want you to come on. I would love that. Oh, by the way, I'm not sure if I showed this to you. My boy Tim has a Super Bowl prediction: Cleveland Browns and Arizona Cardinals.
I would love that game.
I think he just, you know what? I know he posted it on Facebook. I don't think he put it on Instagram. But Tim,
I would love that game.
If you could share that picture on Instagram, because I know for a fact he would love to have that. And before we go, here's another one. 3 seconds left in the game. You need to kick a game-winning field goal. Who are you taking to kick the winner, Tucker or Vinatieri? Really, really good one. I'm going to take Vinatieri because he did it in the Super Bowl.
I'm going to take Tucker because he can kick a 50-yarder like it's an extra point.
The leg strength is phenomenal.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. If it's over 50, I can understand that, but I'm going to take the guy who's actually done it in the Super Bowl. But, man, those are great questions. I'm glad I got Patriots fan here. I'm going to accept your friend request, and if we break down the NFC East some more, definitely welcome on the show. I did my if you have a chance, check out my Jets video, and then the next one will be New England. They picked 15th this year, so it'll be about 2 weeks, and then you can give me your opinion of my analysis of the New England Patriots. So, hey, Red Sea, before we log off, man, anything you want to say to anybody out there? Or
not really, but just a quick statement. If you think I don't know what I'm talking about for my team, I cover my team. Well, not officially, but I write about my team. I am forced to be in depth with my team. It's not just some guy who watches the game on Sundays like it just thinks he knows what he's talking about. I have to be in knowledge of my team.
He is a knowledgeable person. That's the reason why I wanted to bring him on, is because this is a guy
I've tried to show none
of this fanboy bias. I was kind of worried you'd come out and say, when I said, "What's your prediction?" I was kind of worried I'd hear 16-1.
Oh, hell no. No. In a perfect world, we'd go 16-1 or 17-0. But this ain't no perfect world. This no.
No, I can vouch. I love the knowledge of the Cardinals, and I was very, very impressed with you coming on today and not giving me the fanboy bias that I have to admit I was a little worried I would get, but I didn't get it.
Cardinals fans aren't known for that because we have no place to talk because we haven't won shit.
Oh, you know what? According to my boy Tim, you're going to the Super Bowl against the Browns.
Hey, Tim. Kyler Murray is undefeated against Oklahoma quarterback. So if that's a Super Bowl matchup, I'll take that. I will take that. That's a win. Larry gets a ring.
Tim, do both of us a favor. Post that on your Instagram page. Tim mostly does Facebook. He loves Facebook. He doesn't do as much Instagram. I need to do more Instagram myself. And the Homeland, if your stuff's available on your Instagram page, I'll definitely check it out because my whole point of building this channel is I want to get fans from all 32 fan bases, I'm a Chiefs fan, so 31 fan bases, because I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I just don't talk the talk. I actually walk the walk. So that's the reason why I want to bring knowledgeable fans, and Red Sea definitely fits that bill. So I'm really glad you joined the show, and I hope
Only Cardinals fan on the East Coast, ladies and gentlemen. You're looking at him.
Mind is it, if you don't want to, you don't have to. Where roughly are you located on the East?
I am in Connecticut.
Okay, so you're
a Cardinals fan
in the New England
from New England when we have the stupid Patriots right above us. I am tired of this garbage. Get me out of here.
I'll tell you. You know what? Hey, listen. If you want to join an AFC bandwagon, the Chiefs are always accepting fans.
I'll send you the Arizona Cardinals bandwagon form in the mail. It's pending right now. The U.S. Post Office is a little weird. It's sent out already. It's pending. It's pending, my guy.
Well, man, that's awesome, man. Hey, man, come on back anytime. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining here. We'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up and end on a really good note.
Anytime you see people in your comments talking bad about the Cardinals, you text me immediately and I will get on the stream.
Hey, man, hey, feel free.
I will educate them.
Hey, man, I'm glad you're willing to do that because I definitely want some Cardinals knowledge. So you're my Cardinals guy. Now I got a New England guy, so I really appreciate it. And we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Hey, guys, don't forget, my next video comes out Monday. I'm going to break down the Detroit Lions, and then hopefully I'll see everybody back next Friday. So, hey, man, thanks for joining. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up before you leave, and have a great weekend.
Like, comment, subscribe, share.